Empower IT, Leaders in Building Career. It's the world's most popular online training institute. Do visit us at www.empowerittrainings.com. Subscribe the channel and click on bell icon. Your search ends here. Empower IT Trainings is one-stop solution for all SuccessFactors online trainings.
So guys, in our session today, we are going to start with our module of PMGM, which is the Performance and Goal Management module, which is all about the way how every employee in a company can be set with some targets and goals in the starting of the year, and we give a proper interval of time for them to achieve it. And at the end of the year, we track the performance of the employee based on his deliverables. And we award a final year-end rating based on the performance of the employee. So this is what the goals and performance module is actually going to be doing. So at a high level, just a one-line definition if I have to say. And it basically has multiple components under that. So 5 different components will be part of the PMGM module. So what are that? What are the screens, navigations, terminologies? Okay, what we achieve in through this module, all that overview. The expectation setting is what we do today. And from our tomorrow session is where we enter into the configurations of the module. Okay. So in that regard, guys, to tell you, PMGM is actually the first module in the year of 2002 when SuccessFactors started. This is the first module with which SF has started. And today, if you count the number of implementations for each module, how many EC projects are there, how many PMGM projects like that, if you keep counting, among all the 10 modules, PMGM stands in the first place. A large number of implementations have been happening on PMGM. The reason is, any company, either every year they give the hikes to the employees or not, promotions to the employees or not, but they will definitely do the performance reviews. Even in a recent example of the COVID period of 2020, there are 90% of the companies who did not give any salary increments, but they have done the performance reviews. That's where a performance review system is mandatory for every product, every customer. So most of the customers who started their journey towards SuccessFactors, they started with PMGM. Initially, they implemented only single module of PMGM. They experienced it. They saw one cycle, one full year cycle on SuccessFactors, how the product looks like. So once they are happy with it, then only they migrated the remaining modules. There are a lot of projects in the year of 2014, 15, 16, that time, where customers every time chosen the PMGM as a first choice. Okay. So now, of course, the product portfolio has been increased. Many people are aware about SuccessFactors and its success stories. So now companies are directly implementing with employees into kind of major modules as well. But initially, when the product has been emerging in the market, PMGM would have been the first choice for the customers. So that is the history of this module with a lot of career opportunities and all. And to speak in terms of the components, what we can actually have under this PMGM. So PMGM is nothing but performance and goals management. Okay. So like this, in this, it has 5 components. One is, it starts with the goal management, where for every employee in the starting of the year, there will be some goals that will be set for every individual. And then quarterly or off yearly or at the end of the year, we measure the progress of the employee. We track the employee progress on the achievement towards the goals. So that is what we do as performance reviews. Performance reviews is what we do, which is part of the performance management. And we also have something called as calibration. Calibration is where at the end of the performance management process, before we finalize the year-end ratings of an employee, calibration as a process can be performed, which is in other terms, in other products and all, you also call it as normalization process. People also call it as normalization process or 3-6 or the bell curve process. bell curve process and all. These are the other terminologies that we use for the same concept in the market. So calibration is the product which will do this normalization of the bell curve process actually here in PMG. So that is where once the ratings are decided for each and every employee in the company at that reporting manager level. So I am the manager, I have a team of 10 people. So everybody's performance is what I closely monitor and ratings. And after that, my my head of the department has also reviewed and they also have given the rating. So something has been finalized within a team or a department level, that's fine. But now at an organizational level, if they want to make some forceful change of ratings, so due to any reason, if they want to forcefully increase the rating of an employee who previously got only 3 out of 5, now we want to increase him to 4 out of 5, or he has already got 5 out of 5 and you have to reduce him to 4 out of 5. So increasing or decreasing and that kind of forced change of ratings at a top management level, based on some factors and reasons it has to be performed, they use the calibration tool. So calibration as a tool that will be useful every time at the top management level. Okay, that is the calibration for the forced change of ratings. With the better examples and the actual process, we'll see it in the regular sessions. And then we have 360-degree evaluations. 360-degree multi-rater evaluations is what we call as a fourth component, where in the normal performance reviews that will happen every year, the employee's upper level hierarchy will be the reviewers, employees manager, employees second level manager of the department, and HR matrix managers. These people to whom the employee is reporting, the next level hierarchy is what will be doing the review of the employee. But 360-degree review is not only to the higher hierarchy, even the people who are in your same level, that is your colleagues who are in the same level reporting to your manager. Even your colleagues can give a performance review about you. Even your subordinates who are reporting to you can give you some feedback. And even some people of some other department, totally a different department out of your line of hierarchy, they can also give you the feedback. And even the clients or the customers with whom you are working out of the organization, even the external participants also can give you the feedback. Say example, I'm an employee of IBM and I'm working for the project of Coca-Cola. Now if IBM management wants to take my feedback from the Coca-Cola project manager, the client project manager, so that kind of external evaluations can also be done. And that way we call it as 360 evaluations. Everybody with whom you are interacting in your day-to-day business activities, upper level, lower level, same level, even people out of the company, everybody can be part of this 360-degree evaluations. So that is the concept of 360. And the fourth component, which is the latest component, which we call as the youngest baby in the product, is continuous performance management. Continuous performance management, which they simply call it as CPM also. So this is the latest one where PMGM module started in 2002, but the CPM as a component has been added in the year of 2016, and it got stabilized by 2017, and now it has been become the main selling point of the product. When any sales people try to demonstrate the features of the PMGM module, they pick up the continuous performance component as a very, very important value addition in terms of the advantage of it. The main purpose of it is, normally in a traditional performance review process, in the starting of the goal, in the starting of the year, goals are set, where employee and manager will discuss and they finalize the goals in the starting of the year, say in the January, February. If it is a Jan to December cycle calendar year company, January, February, they do the goal set. Fine. And again in the mid-year, somewhere in the month of July, they go for a mid-year review. One time manager and employee will discuss the progress. That's it done. Again in the month of November, December year, in the year end, they again have a one-to-one meeting and they review the progress. That's it. So the communication between the employee and manager has become like milestone based. Only when you have a workflow step to do in the performance form, you guys are meeting. Else, there is no continuous interaction between the employees and the managers. So that is the main lacking point that a lot of performance products in the market are having. And at that point of time, SuccessFactors has brought this continuous performance management, where apart from your workflow, like starting of the year, you set the goals. In the mid-year, you do the mid-year review. Apart from that, you also have a separate platform where you can continuously be in touch with your manager. Between employee and the manager, they can have a channel continuously running such that whatever are the activities that I am working on, I can keep them updated there. Each and every activity what I am taking up, I can record them. And the progress on that activity and the completion of that activity, I can keep updating in the continuous performance application. And my manager has a complete visibility towards it. Okay. And if my manager wants to assign me any activities, even that he can do there directly. So that is how you have continuous performance as a tool. That will be a continuous platform where employee and manager can have an open channel continuously to update the activities what they are performing. And also, whenever you had a one-to-one meeting with your manager, you can record the summary of your meeting, continuous performance, like multiple advantages with the continuous performance management component. So like this, with all these 5 different things, the complete PMGM module functions. Where in any company, to start with this module, it has to start with the goal management, where you first set the goals of the employee, then comes reviews. It might be performance review you call, or 360 review you call, or continuous performance measurement of the employee. Anything can happen once if you have a goal set first of all. So goal management will be the very first thing. Okay. And in terms of the screens and the navigations, so for the PMGM module, you have around 5 areas here. The goals part is here. When you click on these goals, it will redirect you to the goals homepage, where for every individual, what are their current year goals, they can set them. And even they can have a look at the previous year goals, last year, last 2 years, last 5 years. Goals with a single click, they can even access the previous year goals in the screen. And this is the performance part where the reviews. Whether an employee has to give these updates on the achievement, or the manager has to review the progress and give the ratings to the employees, all that happens here under the performance. And here we have continuous performance that we have been already speaking about. And within continuous performance, they also give a functionality called continuous feedback. It's not only about tracking and having a look at the employee's activities and all. If we want to guide the employee or advise the employee, provide him with some feedbacks, continuously you will have a channel open. And not only a manager to an employee, anybody in the company can give a feedback to an employee. There will be an open channel. Or if an employee wants to request a feedback, he wants to know about his performance from somebody else. So what do they think about my performance? Employee can request feedback round the clock anytime without any particular timeline or anything. Randomly, I can come and I can suddenly ask somebody about my feedback. So that way, continuous feedback is a channel where that gives an option for the employees to learn and grow continuously. That way, and we have this calibration where this will be obviously used only by the top management people for the forced change of ratings, like minimum head of the department and above they use this. Head of the departments on the executive management level, the CXOs, CTOs, CEOs, such level people will be using this calibration tool normally. So these are all that basically fall under the PMGM: goals, performance, continuous performance, calibration. Even the 360 will fall under the same performance legs, because either it is the regular annual reviews or 360 reviews. End of the day, they are the employee performance reviews. They fall under this performance tab itself. So that way, when a PMG module is implemented, you get 5 drop downs, 5 navigation items. Okay. And when we go for these goals, so when we are starting to set the goals for a year, we just have to go under these goals. And if you see this, for this current lady called Anya Singh, her existing year 2021 goal plan, that is for this year, whatever are her goals. This is a page where that can be set. Here, currently, there are already some goals already set here, guys. Say some financial related goals, like the sales revenues of the employees and all. So the sales revenue targets of the company and all. This is one goal. And some other goals, they're already added here. The employee has to achieve something. employee has to conduct some inspections. So like this, there are some goals that are set category wise. There are some goals to improve the internal business process of the company, some goals for employees self-learning and growth, and there are some goals that are related to the financial targets of the company. Like this, we can have the categories. Whenever I create a goal in the company, I can align it under a particular category. Is this financial goal or internal business process development goal or self-employee development goal? Such kind of different categories can be present. We can have the validations like per year, minimum employee has to work on 3 goals, and maximum 6 goals. Like this, the minimum max validations are organizational specific. We can set up the validations on the minimum and maximum number of goals. So here, this is an interface where at any point of time, across 365 days a day, 365 days a year, an employee wants to see what are his goals for this year. With a single navigation into this goals tab, just a single click on the goals tab, they can see the current goals, which are already set to them. And if it is starting of year and if you have to start creating the goals for yourself, here you have add goal option. And when you click on this add goal, you have multiple options. Under that, the first one is the most commonly used one, creating a new goal, in which again they'll be having 2 to 3 different options here. Even while they're creating a new goal, under that they can give you 3 different options, where the first one is a personal goal, where I am the author of my goal. So whatever is the goal, the description about it, the target, numbers related to it, anything, I am the owner who is deciding that. So personal goal, this is the interface. And you are required to create a goal. First, choose under which category your goal is going to fall. Financial, learning and growth, internal business process, or you can also add some custom categories like this. That is an example that I have already said. So we can add some additional categories as well. There is no limit on it. You can have any number of categories as well. And for every goal, you have a name of that goal. It's a free text field which will almost take 4,000 characters of text. It's more than enough. And once you have the name of the goal, the metric of the goal, that is how are you going to measure the goal. Say example, if it is something like sales revenue, is a goal related to the sales revenue. Okay, so then you measure it in say USD, say you measure it in dollars or rupees, INR. So metric, on what metric you measure it is the metric that you maintain. And next you have the weightage of a goal, which will describe the importance of a goal. Say example, if this employee is going to work on 5 goals in this year, if every goal is equally important, then 5 goals divided by 5, when the complete 100% importance divided by 5 goals, each of the goal is having 20% weightage. Where if say you say one goal is more important, I can create one goal with 40% importance. Rest of the 4 goals I can align within the 60%. The total 100% is what it has to go on. So basically, this weightage is describing the importance of the goal. Okay, so this is 40% important among the entire goals that I am working for this year. Almost 40% of my importance is towards this goal. And start date and end date is basically the current year dates will be auto-populated. And here you can have some targets. So if this is sales revenue, so how many dollars is that? $1 million. You just have the add icon. Click on it like this. You can keep on adding the different sub goals. And later on, employees can update the percentage of the sub goal achieved. So this goal is achieved 70%. This sub goal is achieved 40%. Like that. So they can also update the percentage completion at each and every sub goal level. But in order the performance review and the rating will happen against the primary goal only, not on the subline items. This is just to break down. If you want to give some breakup of the main goal, then you okay. Or if you want to say example, there is for 1 year you have given some 100 million target. If you want to divide it on a quarter wise, by the end of first quarter, employee has to achieve. By the end of second quarter, employee has to achieve something. Like that, if you want to have quarterly with a target date, by the end of first quarter, you achieve this much. By the end of second quarter, give some other date, and by the end of second quarter, you achieve something else. Like that, you can do. So this way, multi-scope sub goals are something optionally. It's not that we have to mandatorily use these guys. So customers can optionally use this additional line items like sub goals, milestones, or so. End of the day, these are all the various items that we can have on a new goal creation window whenever employees are setting a goal, or even when manager is creating a goal for employee anytime. So this is a interface that comes up, and this is totally customizable. If you want to add some fields, remove those from fields, anything, we can definitely do that. So this is on this demo system level, which is predefined. We can customize it as per the customer requirement in the actual systems. Okay. Any questions here? Okay. So this is how the goal interface looks like. And while you are adding the goal, you also have another option, other two more options I've shown you, right? Apart from the personal goal where you give the input in each and everything, there is a library goals. So that's a goal library where it's a standard given library goals. That is across the industries, across the departments, what are the goals that are commonly applicable? So if you are a company, if you are a person from administration department, what are the common goals that you normally set? And if you are a person from HR, or if you are a person from IT and all. So again, in that departments, you can have the different sections. Under HR, people who deal with staffing and recruitment, people who deal with training and development, like that. You fall under which division of HR? Under that, you expand and you find the goals what are normally applicable across the industries for your area. If you feel by looking at these things, if you feel, yeah, this is the one that I'm targeting for this year, yeah, this is the one I'm targeting for this year, you can choose that goals and get them added into your goal screen. From the master library, you are going to copy it into your goal sheet, such that you are going to work on those goals this year. So this is just an good to have option that SAP has given across the industries, across the departments. What are the commonly seen goals? Are what SAP based on their experience, SAP has made this standard library. So whether you want to copy from this or you don't want to copy from this, it's your choice. We have both options: personal goal, where I enter my goal details, or a library goal, where there is a predefined library goal and I can copy from that. So when I'm copying from this, guys, how I'm copying doesn't mean that completely system is going to give me the entire details. Just the name of the goal and the metric of the goal is only going to be copied. Click on add selected here on the right hand bottom corner. The system will populate the name of the goal and the metric how we are going to measure it. Only two things. The category you have to fill in, the weightage, that is the importance of the goal, the target, whatever are the numbers associated with it, the status of the goals, any sub goals, all this is the person who's actually assigning this goal has to decide all that. So only the name and the metric is what it is being copied from the library. Even this, if you want to still make any changes on this, it is still editable. You can make the changes. Okay. So that way we have the options of adding a new goal completely from the scratch where we type everything, or we copy from the library. These two ways. We have a group goal, team goal as two more options that is a bit advanced. Until and unless we basically do at least 3-4 sessions of goals, you can't understand what is this group goals and all. So in this intro level, I'll not touch it. I think mostly by next week this time, we'll enter into the group goal discussion. Okay. So that way, we have different options of creating a goal. And even if you want to copy from the previous year goals, say copy from other goal plan means other means it's not other employee. My other goals, that is my previous year goals, 2019 goals, 2020 goals. So I want to copy from that. Click on it. It shows me my previous year, 2019, 2020, like that. So if I have something in my 2020, click on next. Whatever are there, I can copy from them. Currently in this system, there are no 2020 goals on my name. I'll check 2020. Sorry, 2019. Even there are no goals. But if there are any goals, you will just have a checkbox to select it and click on copy at the bottom. From the previous year, it gets copied into the current year. the same goal what you have been working last year. If you want to repeat that this year also, you can do that. That is an advantage. So copying from the previous year. So this way we can set the goals, and there are a lot more options on this. Almost one entire week of discussions will be on the goal management itself. So this is at a high level to introduce you with the interface and what are the options that we have in creating the goal. So there is a lot of meaning against all these weightages, percentage completions and all. So what are that and all? Once we start our goal management sessions from tomorrow, we'll look at. So till this level is what I want to give you an overview of the goal management part. Any questions still here from anyone? Okay. So now moving on to the performance tab. So if we go for this performance, guys. So every individual can have performance forms for every separate year. The 2018 review form, 2019 review, 2020 review. Like that, you will have different performance reviews year-wise or off-yearly wise, okay, or quarterly wise. Q1 review form, Q2 review form. You can have in that way, or mid-year form, annual year form, like that. It depends upon the company's requirements. So here we have some forms, different forms that are present here. So any forms we open, so in that how the forms are actually set up, you can see the structure of it. Now there is something 2020 review form for Anya Singh. So when you open a review form, it first shows the review cycle, the workflow or the review process, what has been configured, like where it starts. First, it starts with the employee self-assessment. So either you are doing this review in the mid of the year or end of the year. The point is, first it should be the first step should be the employee, because we have already set the goals for the employee in the starting of the year. Now he has to update the progress, whatever he has achieved, where he is still lagging behind, he has to update that. So based on that inputs what employee entered, the next step manager can give some ratings on that. So employee self-assessment has to be done. Then it goes to the manager assessment. Then they can have a one-to-one meeting, and if there are any opinion matters that they can correct. And once here at the meeting level also they have finalized the rating, they can send it for the second level manager for a review. That way we can have our workflow customized and configured as per the customer requirements. This is nothing standard. Every step is customer's choice. And then coming down, we'll be able to see the goals section. So whatever are the goals that we have added to the employee that we present here, and by the review stage, employee can edit that goal and he can update the actual. So for the target of some 1 million or something, whatever is the target that we enter, say, for that how much is the achievement, how much your employees achieve. For example, in the target level initially there is some 10 lakhs something target given. Now how much employees achieve some actual achievement, like this they can record. So like this, employees can update their actual achieved percentage completion, and status wise if they want to say they are on track or they are lagging behind, whatever they want to update, they can do it and save it. So this way, for every goal, they can open the goal in the editable window, update the contents of it, the status of the goal, the numbers against the goal they can update, and then they can also give the rating. So based on their performance, how do they rank themselves? So on a scale of 5, what do they think of their performance? It's just to check the pulse of the employee. But the final rating will be based on obviously the manager's opinion only. But here it is just to check the employee's pulse. What does he feel about his performance? So that is where we can have the rating at employee level, the 5-star rating, the 1 to 5 scale I say. And this is again configurable. The customer want to have 1 to 10, 1 to 7, 1 to 3. It depends on their choice. But mostly customers, majority of the customers, I can say more than 70% of the customers go with 5 scale only. Very few customers I see 10 scale, 3 scale and all. Okay. So like this, employees can give some ratings and give the comments from there. What do they think about their performance regarding? They can give some comments against this book. So subject is nothing but treated as an employee. Here in SF, subject is nothing but an employee. Subject comment means employee comments. Okay, and then moving down, you have like this for every goal. You can open, edit it. First, internally update the contents of the goal, and then here the ratings against the goal. So what do he think about himself, and again comments and all. This way they can give it against all the goals what are given to them at the starting of the year. They can give the ratings. Okay. Just randomly fill some ratings here quickly. So this way, once the goals are done, the next thing will be in the performance reviews of SuccessFactors and many other HR products also. They also have competencies to be evaluated. Many companies will also include competencies. So the year-end performance of an employee is not only determined based on his contributions towards the goals, and also towards his competencies. Competencies can be behavioral competencies, technical competencies. That is like the way how punctual he is at office. Okay, how how friendly towards the team members. How is his team spirit? His communication skills. Next is conflict management, leadership skills. So on various things, employees can be measured in terms of competencies. So like this here, you have a few examples like how good he is in accepting the responsibilities and challenges, and then communication, how effectively he communicates, inspiring and motivating other team members. Like this, companies can come up with different kinds of competencies. So along with the goals, competencies are also other thing on which the employees will be measured. And in competencies, we have two types. So you see the section heading, core competencies. This core values is nothing but core competencies. Core competencies and role-specific competencies. So what does these mean? Core and role-specific is, if there is some quality, like this communication quality or the leadership skills or team spirit, whatever you say. So those qualities, what an employee, the company wants to track on every employee. It's not only particular employee, right from CEO till the bottom clerk level. If they want to have these parameters measured for every employee, that is what we call it as a core competency. Something on which each and every employee is assessed is a core competence. If there are some competencies specific to your job, if you are a consultant, you will have one set of competencies. If you are a project manager, different competencies. If you are a director, if you are a CEO. So based on your job role, if the competencies are going to change, so that is called role-specific or job-specific competencies we say. Okay, say people at top management, executive management level, they should be having the competencies like forecasting, leadership skills, next conflict management, these kinds of things. If a person at a normal executive, analyst, or HR or a general consultant kind of, they should need like these kinds of communication, okay, team spirit, okay, active responsibility, proactiveness, these kinds of things. So it depends upon the job role that you play in the company and the level you play in the company. So such way, goals and two types of competencies are the three items on which the employee's year-end performance will be measured on this. SuccessFactors PMGM, goals, core competencies, role-specific competencies are the three areas. Based on the performance of the employee on these three areas is where the year-end rating can be calculated. And having competencies is not mandatory, but majority of the companies will use these competencies. There are companies who measure only on goals. They say no competencies in my performance review process. Some companies say we like only job-specific competencies. We don't want core. Or some companies take all the three. It depends upon their requirement. Okay. So this way you can have the employees' performance tracked based on all these three parameters. On the competencies also this way we have the ratings. So against each and every competency you can assess the employee and give his ratings and comments against those competencies. And then going down, role specific also are coming up. So role specific competencies also you can give the rating like against each competency. And we can come up with some sections on the form which will basically help us in collecting some feedbacks about the employees, like what are the strength areas of the employees, what are the areas that he has to develop, the development needs of the employees, all that can be tracked here, so that the L&D departments can take out the report on this, and whatever are the training programs that they have to ask the employee to do, they can, based on these feedbacks, they can take it up. So the development needs are all where here the development opportunities level, the managers can nominate some training programs for the employees. They can recommend some programs that. So these are the various things, and this is the standard layout again. Goals, competencies, and some strengths and developments are the areas. We want to still fine tune this form with few more areas, few more feedback options, few more questionnaire kind of a thing we want to add it. We can even extend this form with more sections as well. That's completely configurable, and we see how to do that in our regular sessions and how to add some custom sections on the form, all that. So this way, an employee can do this version of the assessment and he can take it further, where here on the right hand bottom you have submit to manager. That is to the next level, he is submitting the form. And when I click on submit, it doesn't immediately go to the manager. It stops me at a place where it shows me you are in current step, this is the step, and if you click further, it goes to the next level called manager, and the person who is going to receive the form is Mr. Charles. The name of the person also will be shown, and you can just click on the submit to manager on the right hand bottom corner. Again, once again, now the form will finally go to the reporting manager. That is it. So now let me also quickly show you manager and how does this appear actually. That is more important. So now for this lady called Anya Singh, Charles Brown is the reporting manager. The form went to him. Now at a manager end, how does the review form appear is what we are now going to look at. So now here I am in the login of Charles Brown, where under review performance, that is PMGM related, there are 3 items pending for his review. Out of these 3, 1 should be asked. That is the manager assessment for Anya Singh. Just click on it. It brings you to the form, performance form of the employee, which has been already filled in by the employee. Now it is in the second step. It says this first step employee self-assessment has been completed. Now we enter into the second step called manager assessment. Coming down here, he can see the rating what employee has given on the right hand side. It will be in a read-only mode. Employee given 4 out of 5. And what are the comments? Practice each and every goal. What are the ratings, comments the employee has given will be on the right hand side. And the manager can have his version of the ratings and comments given here on the left hand side. So employee is given 4 out of 5. Manager is also planning the same, or manager wants to give only 3 or 4 or 5. It depends upon. Like accordingly, based on his view, he can give his ratings and comments against each and every goal. Like this, ratings, comments can be given. So once all the goals related ratings are given, next comes the competencies, the core competencies, role specific competencies. Even the same thing repeats. Employee given things are appearing on the right hand side. Now the manager version, his own version, he is also going to give the ratings against each and every competency in the core section, and then followed by the role specific competencies section as well. So when you give the ratings against all these competencies and all, what happens is at the ending there will be a summary section. At a manager level, there will be a summary section where all the goals, what you have given the rating on the top. So here are the goals as a subheading. So under that there are say around 7 goals. For all the goals, what is the rating that you have given against each and every goal that is coming up here? And an average of all this is 4 that is coming up. That is the goal section rating is 4. The average rating for a goal section is 4 out of 5. Coming down for the competencies, that is core competencies. Sorry. I had an issue with my mouse control. Yeah. For the core competencies, here there are 3 competencies. You have given 4, 2, and 4. Average is 3.33. The core competency section average is 3.33. Similarly, the role specific competencies section average is 2.67 out of 5. So each section level you have the average. to decide the final year-end rating, here you have given the importance of each section. We can configure while finalizing the overall rating for each section how much importance to be given. So goal section should be given 50%, and in the balance 50% the competencies. In that competencies, 20% given to the role specific core competencies and 30% given to the role specific competencies. So 50, 20, 30 ratio they have given. So in deciding the overall rating of the employee, 50% is given to the 50% importance is given to the goal section, and 20% to the core competencies, and 30% to the role specific competencies. So then the overall rating will be calculated like, when I say goal section level, it is 4 out of 5. 50% of 4 is 2. 2 will be taken from this, plus 20% of 3.33 plus 30% of 2.67. So summing up all that, the system is calculating 3.47 out of 5. This is the calculated rating, 3.47, and we can have some configuration to make it to the nearest round of value. If it is 3.47, it has been adjusted to 3. If it is 3.5 and above, if it is 3.57, because it is beyond 0.5, I can round it off to the next number, say 4. Like that, we can have the rounding off of the ratings done to the flooring and ceiling values. Because it is less than 3.5, it is rounded off to 3. If it is greater than 3.5, it used to be rounded off to the next number 4. That way. So even if system is calculating and a rounding of something, end of the day, manager will still have an option to finalize one rating. So our system has calculated 3 out of 5, but if you feel he is eligible for 4 out of 5 at overall level, you can give it. So this, what manager is going to finalize, this is going to be treated as official rating. When you take out a report, you can download all the 3. What actually system calculated, and what is the rounding off given, and finally what has been finalized for this year. All 3 can be taken in the report in 3 different columns if you want. But this is end of the day treated as the official rating. That's overall form rating. This is treated as the official rating, and this rating is going to be flown into the other modules. If the PMGM ratings are to be integrated with the compensation management module to announce the annual increments, or to the succession planning module. So wherever this rating has to flow, PMGM rating, this will flow. The final rating, not these ratings. So that way, to give you an idea how the performance form looks like and the rating logic will look like, this is how it is. How is that calculation happening? Where do we assign these percentages, rounding of logics, all that is what the actual configuration is. We'll see in the sessions. Okay. Any questions on this here? No questions at all, guys, today? No one? Okay. So this is about the way how the goals interface, the performance review interfaces actually look like. And then followed by, we have this 360 continuous performance and all. But this is too early to discuss. Even when I say even the intro, I don't want to take it now, because by the time we complete this goals performance itself, it will be easily 3 weeks from now. Okay. So when we come to that 4th week, when we discuss this calibration and continuous performance, then I'll give you the intro directly at that stage. Even if I give you now, in 3 weeks, you'll forget all that. So because the first 2 components are the main components, goals and performance. So this is how it actually looks like. And from tomorrow, we'll start with our actual goal configurations, the goal management configuration sessions, which will easily go for 1 week. Okay. And here, when we see this goals interface, whatever are the categories that we see, what are all the fields that we see when we are adding the goal, the contents, all this, that is how is this all set up, permissions, access, everything we'll be looking at. Okay. So this is basically to first introduce you with the module of PMGM, gentlemen. Anybody has any questions, I'm happy to answer. I did not see any question at all today. Okay, great. Fine then, guys. So let's sign off for now. Where in the tomorrow session, we'll start with the goal management configurations. That's all for now. Have a nice evening, everyone. Thank you.
Subscribe the channel and click on bell icon.